What up, YouTube? It's Naj and Reina back with another
Drinking Thinks.
So
He almost didn't clink me.
Reina just found some very interesting video. You want to tell them the name of that?
Yes, it's Texas teen allegedly takes out entire family over fears of being cannibalized.
Now, I haven't seen this nor heard about this.
Me either.
But what caused you to have fears?
It's probably schizophrenic.
Not fears about being killed.
Are you not even say that?
No, I said it because you said it and then it made me say it.
I didn't say it.
You did.
I did not.
This is recorded, but
good. Let's start from the top.
Hmm?
We're going to watch this again.
No, the people in the comments are going to let us know.
No. I said taken out.
You corrected yourself, but you definitely said the word first.
How much money you want to put on it?
Man, it's whatever.
How much money do you want to put on
I ain't
it?
never been confident about none in my life. I know what
Put some money on it.
What I got around here.
How much money you want to put on it, man?
We could put $100.
That's a hefty
No, because
price.
you ain't gonna give me that. Alright, $10.
I'll give you $5.
Golly. Alright, $5.
I'll sell you.
I want my $5. Alright, so where we at? This guy, not just wait, what is he?
He's a teen.
Let's go right into this.
He's Asian.
An 18-year-old accused of murdering his family because he believed they were cannibals who would eat him. It's a disturbing case out of Texas.
Damn, why everything happen here?
Welcome to Law and Crime Sidebar Podcast. I'm Angenette Levy. Prosecutors in Texas have filed capital murder charges against 18-year-old Cesar Olalde. A week ago, police in Nash, Texas, just outside of Texarkana, went to the house where Olalde lived with his parents and siblings.
He's probably Hispanic.
They'd received a call from a co-worker of Cesar's mother, who said that he was in the house with a gun and claimed that he killed his family because he thought they were going to eat him. There was a standoff. Olalde eventually surrendered. Police found his mother, Ada Garcia Mendoza, his father, Ruben, and his siblings, Lisbeth, who was an adult, and Oliver, who was just 5 years old.
Damn!
Wait, so you thought the 5-year-old was going to eat you?
I'm not going to make any comments.
I'm going to make a damn comment. The kid... there's been a lot of situations where people will take out their family and they will like leave the kid, right?
There's also been a lot when they take out
the
kids.
Yeah,
too.
for sure.
Yeah.
But like we're talking about specifically, he said he was in fear that they were going to cannibalize him. So did you really think that the 5-year-old was going to bite you when you sleep if you didn't unalive him? Like was he going to get up with you when you least suspect it and just bite your ankle? Like, why take out the child? First off, why any of them?
Why bite the ankle?
I'm just saying, like, what do you think he was going to do?
Police found his mother, Ada Garcia Mendoza, his father, Ruben, and his siblings, Lisbeth, who was an adult, and Oliver, who was just 5 years old. They were all dead.
Wow.
Their bodies were found in a bathroom. All had been shot in other locations in the house and dragged into the bathroom.
Wow.
According to an arrest affidavit, a judge set Cesar's bail at $10 million. He could face the possibility of the death penalty if convicted. His older sister has set up a GoFundMe to pay for funeral expenses for her family. Joining me to discuss this incredibly disturbing case is Dr. Schlesinger. He is a longtime forensic psychologist and also a professor of psychology.
Dang, they've raised $61,000 so far.
From 10 people.
And this is his sister. This just happened on May 23rd. And to think about it, like, even if her parents had, like, life insurance for, like, burial insurance, whatever, there's not nothing for a 5-year-old. And her entire family just got taken out. Shit.
Expenses for her family. Joining me to discuss this incredibly disturbing case is Dr. Schlesinger. He is a longtime forensic psychologist and also a professor of psychology at the John Jay College of Criminal Justice. Dr. Schlesinger, welcome to Sidebar.
Welcome.
When you first read about this case, what were you thinking?
Is that what he said?
What is that?
Criminal Justice. Dr. Schlesinger, welcome to Sidebar.
Welcome.
When you first
She was confused. She's like, ah.
He don't like talking to people.
I was like, thank you.
That boy don't like talking to people. Like y'all forcing me.
About this case, what were you thinking?
Well, initially, it's obviously a very disturbing case. It's a group of young offenders who rarely commit family mass murder. The vast majority of family mass murders are committed by adults. There is a small group, however, of youthful familicidal offenders.
Oh, how old was he?
18.
Cesar would fall into this category.
One thing that struck me about this case, and you may have noticed this too, is this claim that he said his family was going to eat him. That to me says there's some pretty significant mental illness here.
Schizophrenic.
He could be feigning that, but I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Well, as soon as I hear something like that, my immediate inclination is to think that it's just not true. However, in this particular case, it does seem to be credible because he didn't say this.
I wanted to see this.
It is to think that it's just not true. However, in this particular case, it does seem to be credible because he didn't say this to the police during an interrogation. He said it spontaneously and immediately to an individual who came onto the crime scene. He's actually a friend of one of the deceased family members. That's basically the first thing that he said. So it does seem...
Or he could be setting himself up to have a, you know, what do you call it? What's the when you're trying to, not the alibi, but like
insanity?
No, like to have, well, whatever you're getting ready to plead, to have a reason for him doing what he did. He was setting himself up to have an excuse for doing what he did. I don't know
the term plea.
for it. Okay.
He wants to plead insanity, is what you're saying, but to kill a 5-year-old,
it's not gonna fly.
To me, no. What I mean is, he might actually have a serious mental illness. This is not in any way like excusing anything. I'm just saying that if he thought that they were going to cannibalize him and he's schizophrenic and he really believed that, he's not seeing them as his family anymore.
I think whether he has that illness or he doesn't, he still needs to be locked away from society.
Oh, no, absolutely agreed. I don't want him around me.
Yeah. You ain't touching nobody.
Right.
Somewhat credible. Now, we did a study. I have a long-term research project with the FBI Behavioral Analysis Unit, the folks down in Quantico, on extraordinary crime. And we did a study and published the results a few years ago on youthful familicidal offenders. It's a very rare study because it's a very small group of individuals. We looked at 16 familicides and 19 offenders because some of these people brought an assistant in to help them kill their whole family. Familicide is basically a family mass murder. The vast majority of offenders kill their families because of anger.
I'm not gonna lie, with that orange on and his hair, he looks like he was on Dragon Ball Z if it was an actual movie. He looks like he could play Gohan or something.
And, you know, they don't want to be controlled by them. But we had 2 cases where there was delusional ideation. And so, is it rare? Yes, but it's not unheard of. So, you know, this does ring true.
When I was reading a little bit about this as we were preparing for this episode, it seemed to me, too, in my reading of it, that a lot of times when people do something like this, where they kill their entire families, they then turn the weapon on themselves. That didn't happen in this case. So and I know you haven't examined Cesar, but does that tell you anything about him and his condition?
Well, in all of the cases we studied, they did not turn the weapon on themselves. And what I found over the years is not only just in familicide, but generally in murder. If an individual kills, for example, his wife or no longer loved one with multiple gunshot wounds, they often say that they wanted to commit suicide, but they don't, because the emotion is discharged with the murder itself. But if they shoot the victim with one gunshot wound, very often it is a murder-suicide. So in all of our cases, for example, all of the offenders lived.
So what do you expect to happen next in this case? I would assume that any attorney representing him would ask for some type of mental health evaluation, a competency exam, something like that.
Without a doubt, both of those will happen in a case like this. From a defense attorney's perspective, this is not a whodunit case. I mean, as soon as it happened,
he
Cesar
looks
called
so
911
like sweet
and basically turned himself in. So yes, they're going to have an evaluation with respect to his competency to stand trial and his mental state at the time of the offense.
You know what's so interesting? Like, the more that I think about it, I think that it's interesting because I'm trying to think, like, what type of space do you have to be in mentally to not just take out a child, not just take out a 5-year-old, not just take out a person that's been on this planet for 5 years, but your blood brother.
It's funny. You know what's so funny? Nothing's funny actually, but you know what's interesting? Najee's like freaking out about the sibling because Najee has a little brother that was once 5 years old, right? In my mind, I'm like, I can't believe he would kill his mom. Like, I'm like,
for sure,
because it's not that I don't have little siblings, but they were so close in age with me. Like, we kind of like we're all adults together, but it's just it's speaking to you. It's speaking to you a lot, obviously.
Well, I mean, like everything that he has right there, like I also have. Yes. Right, I was the oldest. Well, he ain't the oldest, but the oldest. I was the oldest in general, but I'm also the oldest boy. He has mom, dad, younger sibling. So it's like, even if, let's just say, something was to happen to, let's just say, his parents, right? Something was to happen to him and then both of his parents passed. It would be the saddest thing on earth. But if something was to happen to his brother separately, right? Not from him, but something happens to his brother and he passed, that would be, in my opinion, probably the worst, because he was here for 5 years. He didn't get to experience anything. At least, like, you know, with his parents, they would have lived, they would have reproduced, they had, you know, they can live on through their kids, essentially, so to speak, you know what I mean?
You're talking like he didn't get a chance.
He didn't have the opportunity to even, like, realize what he can actually do on Earth, you know what I mean? He didn't have no experiences on this Earth, essentially, right? Like, how many of us recall what we've done before 4 years old? You don't know what you did at 1, 2, you know. You might remember something at 4, possibly. Right? I remember a few kindergarten experiences, preschool experiences, you know, playing with blocks and stuff in preschool, stuff like that. But he didn't experience nothing real, you know what I mean? So it's like, the fact that he took that away intentionally from, it is crazy to me, you know what I mean? Like, if it was something, like I said, if it was something that happened with his parents or whatever, it would be horrible, but at least they got to live and actually start a family and see their kids turn into adults, the majority of them, and then, you know, like, that's life, right? But the child taken away for literally no good reason, it's just, I don't know, that just hit a little bit different.
Yeah.
But because he's delusional, for example, let's assume that you know, this wasn't a credible delusion. It doesn't mean that he's going to be found insane legally, because there's a couple of things already that make that a very difficult argument. For example, he called 911, which shows consciousness of guilt and awareness of the wrongfulness of his behavior, and that's the legal standard in most jurisdictions for insanity. Did he know the nature and quality of his acts? Did he know what he was doing? Here, obviously, he did. So it's not going to be easy.
Well, and it sounds like, too, that one of, you know, a coworker of his mother went to the home. She was concerned that, or he was concerned, I guess, that she hadn't shown up for work. And this person encounters him in the house and is pointing a firearm at him. I mean, what does that say to you, if anything?
It says to me that basically he did what he wanted to do, was to kill the targeted victims. It was probably planned out, and the individual that came to the house, he really had no issue with him at all. There was also, the law enforcement said that there was some indication that he wanted to commit suicide by cop. In other words, have no issue with him at all. There was also, the law enforcement said that there was some indication that he wanted to commit suicide by cop. In other words, have the police come there, point the gun at the police officer and have them shoot him. But that didn't happen as well, because in a case like this, when they discharge everything onto the victim, there's very little emotional energy left to turn the gun on themselves, even though they very often say that they wanted to.
The thing that I just don't understand about this too, I mean, there was a 5-year-old child. I don't understand anything about this, and we don't really have enough information about the family background or Cesar's background. But, a 5-year-old boy, his little brother, was killed. Obviously, there's a big age difference there. But to me, I see that and I just shake my head.
Well, that's for sure. A couple of points with respect to that. First of all, in our study, we found that almost half of the individuals, the offenders, told somebody in the coming days and weeks what they were going to do. A number of them called friends and so on afterwards. So that's one important point. And during the investigation, they're certainly going to speak to people that Cesar was involved with. If any of this leaked out, if it was just considered, a joke or not taken seriously. The other thing is, when you look at a case like this from a logical perspective, like it doesn't make sense to you, of course it doesn't make sense to you because you're looking at this logically. But, if this was...
I just want to say something. My mother used to say this thing to me. She would say something along the lines of course you don't understand what they're talking about because they're crazy and you're not crazy. And you can't wrap your mind around crazy thoughts. And it's like literally what he just said, like looking at this from a logic, like how could you do this to a 5-year-old? Like, oh my God, he's your little brother. He's like, if you're looking at it in a logical way, you'll never understand. This man was not thinking logically at the time. And he made an interesting point that he might be not deemed insane legally, but I wonder if he'll be able to say that he had a moment of like psychosis.
Moment of insanity, yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's the only thing I'm thinking. But yeah, my mom used to say that to me all the time. The reason why I don't understand what you're talking about because I'm not crazy. Like, you can say that shit all the time, all as much as you want to say it. I will never understand because I am not crazy. Even though, actually, I mean, in retrospect, actually, I think I am crazy, but whatever.
Delusional behavior, for example, it wouldn't make logical sense because it's not based in reality. A delusion is a false belief not based in reality, and it's intractable. And it can't be dissuaded by facts of reality because it doesn't stem from facts of reality.
Well, very interesting, Dr. Schlesinger. We really appreciate you coming on to talk about this. It's a disturbing case. We're going to keep a close eye on it, and we just hope that family rests in peace. It's an awful case. Thank you again.
Damn, man.
Thank you.
That's it for this edition of Law and Crime Sidebar Podcast. You can listen.
So sad. I mean, what the fuck?
That's wild, yo.
All right, so what are your thoughts? I mean, we don't have a lot of info.
It's interesting. Like, one, like you made a good point. Like, I guess we can't view it from the perspective of breaking down each individual situation, and each like little fact that may have happened. What I'm thinking is, because I'm just trying to understand if, in my mind, right, and again, I'm coming from a logical perspective, but if I'm thinking that somebody's gonna cannibalize me, not just somebody, but my first reaction would probably to be like, get away, because I'm probably not going to like kill everybody unless they've had some type of intent or like it's a self-defense type of situation. Now again, they are in Texas, so it's a little bit different down here.
What does that mean though? What do you mean?
So in Texas, like the gun rules are a little bit different. Like it's a little bit more lenient. You have the ability, like he could have gotten a gun legally. Is it 18 or 21?
18 says. I pulled up the news report. That's what I'm looking at. But yeah, 18.
No. I mean like to actually that you can go into the store and purchase a gun if you're resident of Texas.
Oh, I don't know.
I think it's 21. It might be 18, but I think it's 21. So he can. So let's say if it was 18, he can go and buy a gun. First off, where'd the gun even come from?
I mean, I don't know. I'm sure his family has it.
But to the point, I'm thinking if it's my family, I'm not going to. That's not going to be my first reaction to want to kill them because they're thinking about cannibalizing me. If it's my family, if that's a thought, then it's like, okay, there's something wrong with them. They may need some help. So I'm going to hit the road, Jack.
Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back.
And I won't come back. I'll love you from afar. Right? So, especially with my little brother and sister and like all these other individuals, right? So I'm just thinking like, that's my response. But at the same time, they're saying like if there's something mentally wrong with him, then okay. But then the other piece is he called the police after he did it. So I don't know. It's just too many.
I'm reading this. I just wanted to read like if there's any more additional information. There wasn't, but the sister's co-worker came with a family member to her house. First of all, nobody at work even know my address. So if I'm missing, that's just it. How do they even know the address? That's the part I never get. Like, how do y'all just know the addresses to people?
It's a wild one.
But they met the kid at the door with a gun pointed at them, as they said in the video. So he had a gun pointed at them when they met.
I missed that part. No, I didn't hear that.
They said in the video and it's in the news report.
Golly.
And they had to tell him, they're like, whoa, what the hell's going on? And he's like, they were going to eat me. Like, I killed them because they was going to eat me.
What do you think this is, what's it called?
Well, Walking Dead.
Dawn of the, what was it?
Dawn of the Dead, but the Walking Dead's newer. Get with the times, babe.
I never watched it.
Anyway, here's what I think's going to happen, though. I think he had a moment of psychosis. Nobody just does that shit. Here's the thing. Even if what he's saying isn't true, you've got to be out your fucking mind to kill your whole family. No, it don't matter what the situation is. I agree. Like, to kill your 5-year-old brother, you're not, like, something's off, like, in general. Like, it's not like you killed your parents because they abused you when you was young and then they did some dumb shit and you just making it, it's not that. You killed your older sister, your little brother. What the fuck you think you are, Mike Myers? Like, you literally out here,
I agree with that.
There's no way you would do that if you were thinking clearly in any way.
Either way, I would like the same outcome. He needs to be isolated from society.
Well, he's about to go up for death penalty for this shit.
He needs to be put away in a room by himself.
A padded room.
If he's that crazy, because he don't need to be out in public.
Right. Obviously, your ass needs to stay within
what he was thinking in the moment. Like, you think that if your family was gonna eat you, well, what do you think about everybody else? Your friends and just strangers. Because
if I walk past you start looking at me crazy, I'm gonna start fighting.
Like, it's wild. So, I don't know. I think this is gonna be an interesting thing to check out in the future when more videos come out about it.
It's sad. But rest in peace to his family, and I don't know how many other siblings he had, but the fact that he at least has another sibling, that Diana girl. I hope, that's fucked up. Yes, because you're not only are you gonna lose your brother to what he did, and I'm sure she wants to lose him, but you lost the rest of your family.
The mess up part is she probably still don't even want to lose him. Like, she probably
because of lack of availability. Like, if she had other siblings or a parent or something, she'd probably be like, fuck them. But when you're down to no one, and you're gonna just be an orphan,
and the fact that you're the older one, you know what I mean? Like, you're the oldest one, so
I don't know if she's the oldest, but she's older than he is.
Right. But, you got to see him when he was younger and, be around him and stuff like that. Well, I don't know. Maybe she wasn't that close to him. I don't know. But I'm thinking since she's not living there, she probably was, the oldest one by a few years or something like that. Either way, regardless of what, it's a crazy situation.
Ooh, I'm reading it right now. Okay, I'm going to read this for y'all, and then we get done. Hi, I am Diana, and I am fundraising for my family's funeral services. On May 23rd, 2023, my world changed. My whole family, my mother, who was a hardworking man, my mother, who was a caring and loving person, my sister, who was so full of life, happiness, and dreams, and my little brother, who was an amazing, funny, and cheerful child, passed in a tragic turn of events that even in my worst nightmares, I could not have dreamed. If these people ever touched your life in any way, please help and donate. Prayers would be much appreciated. Hola, me llamo. Oh, she wrote this in Spanish too. Oh, wow. And then she wrote out their names in Spanish. She said, my entire family, my papa Ruben, who was a man that worked very hard, my mama Aida, my little sister Lisbeth. So this is her little sister, her hermanita, Lisbeth. His little baby's name was Oliver. Oh, this is so sad. Well, she wrote a little bit more on the Spanish side.
Yeah.
They've raised $61,683 with a goal of 712 donations. And this is some sad shit, honestly. Like, I cannot believe it. Like, so many people have donated. Like, $20, $100, 50, 80, 150, 100, 200.
So it looks like they've reached a goal.
$500.
But what we should do is drop the GoFundMe link in the description. So we'll drop the GoFundMe link in the description if you all want to donate to the family or to, what's her name?
Diana.
For the family, yeah. They've hit their goal, but she deserves some extra help. This is
think about that. Yeah, like her mental health. I mean, I am gonna like literally pray for that woman. Like, how incredibly sad. And if her mother was able to have a 5-year-old, she's not that old. You know what I mean?
Say it again.
If her mother was able to have a 5-year-old, that means that Diana and the mother couldn't have been that old to have birthed a 5-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
So Diana must not be like, she might be like our age. She might not be that old. Like, she might be like still pretty young.
Yeah.
And it's just really sad. It's just scary. Like, she's by herself, man.
Yeah.
Like, that is sad. Prayers to them. I think it's great. Definitely put the caption, the link in the caption. I'll send it to you now so you can do that.
Yeah. Alright, good people. So we will catch y'all in the next video. Appreciate y'all checking in. Make sure to hit that like button. Hit that subscribe. If you're not subscribed, turn notifications on. Leave a comment what y'all think about this. And the donation link to GoFundMe will be in the description.
Yeah. Hold your people tight.
Catch y'all next time. Peace.
Bye.